The EcoFlow Delta 3 1000 Air is not necessarily what you would picture when you hear the word air. It's not thinner, it's not sleeker, but it does have less features. A lot less features. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. EcoFlow has recently been making a dumpster fire of their product lineup. They have released a ton of new products with very confusing names. We recently released an entire video trying to help you understand which EcoFlow units you actually need. But today we're taking a look at yet another new unit from EcoFlow, the Air. As always, we will leave links to this in the description down below, as well as any coupon codes that we can get from EcoFlow to help you guys save as much money as possible. But before we get into our experience with this new Air, everything that we didn't really like and all the things that we did, we're gonna hit you with a super quick spec teardown in case you're not already familiar with the EcoFlow Delta 3 1000 Air 10 millisecond. Is UPS in the title? Or is it just 10 milliseconds?
Just 10 milliseconds in brackets.
10 milliseconds. First up, this passes the tiny baby lift test. It only weighs about 22 pounds. It has a 960 watt hour battery paired with a 500 watt inverter. In terms of getting power into this guy, you can charge it from a regular house outlet inside of your home at about 650 watts. The nice thing with this is that if you're using it in UPS mode, because it only has a 500 watt inverter, if you're running a 500 watt load and you plug it in, you get an additional 650 watts of charging, meaning it'll charge at about 1200 watts. And you can also charge it with solar at about 500 watts, which is pretty good compared to the battery size. That's about 2 hours to full. It's also the same amount that you can pull out of the inverter. So if you got a sunny day, you can run this thing at full tilt and put as much solar into it as you are taking out of it. In terms of ports on this guy, you have one regular house outlet on the front. You have a 12 watt USB-A and an 18 watt USB-C. You have your solar input and your AC charging input on the side, and that's it. No other ports, plugs, or options on this power station. And in terms of the design of the new Air, it's interesting in our opinion. It's still big and bulky because it gives you almost 1000 watt hours of battery, but it's very minimal. Clearly when they were thinking of the word Air, they were leaning into the fact that, you know, it's got basically no plugs or ports or features, not that it's gonna be super thin and light like air. That's what you would think it would be. Otherwise, the design is nice. Nice little handle on the back. Overall, it looks kind of like every other EcoFlow on the market. Same screen, just a very small version of it. And something new on this is you have an indicator light for the stability of the power that you're charging it with. So if you're charging it with like an unstable generator, it'll actually give you like a little bit of a warning and tell you that that's not the best, most stable power input, which is kind of cool. We've never seen EcoFlow do that before. This Air also connects to their app. Nothing crazy for this small little unit. You can turn things on and off from afar, change a couple settings that you can't access directly from the power station, but otherwise it's a very simple app. The only new thing on the app for this power station, it goes with this little light right here. You can actually set the frequency that you're expecting to be charging it with. So basically, if you're traveling with this power station, you can go in the app and set where you're at, what like the frequency of the power going into this is expected to be based on where you're at, to make sure that the unit actually appropriately charges and doesn't blow itself up or hurt itself or whatever, which is kind of cool. And right now, you can get the EcoFlow Delta 3 Air 1000 10 milliseconds for $293 with our discount. One of the first things that we really liked about the Air was its performance in our testing, which we kind of expected. It's a relatively small inverter paired with a big battery, so you would expect the testing to do pretty well. In our efficiency test, it was 88% efficient, which is really good. That's like an A+. The UPS on this works extremely well, which is good. That's in the name, so you would hope it does. The best part about the UPS in this case, like we already mentioned, is if you're using the full 500 watts, you can actually charge it at up to 1200 watts, meaning that no matter what you're running off of it, you still gain power in your battery. It's not just like keeping up with what you're using, which is really good. We also do like that it's app capable. A lot of smaller power stations, they don't have capabilities to work with the app, or when you open up the app, it literally only allows you to turn on or off like the AC plugs. So you can't do a ton of stuff from this, but the fact that you can go on the app and make sure it's up to date and take care of little things like that is really nice. Something we also found pretty cool with this is that it works with EcoFlow's alternator charger. Again, a lot of small power stations, when you get into like something like a river, it doesn't work with some of their other accessories that they make for big power stations. So if you're going to use this camping, or even just you travel frequently and you get the alternator charger, you can use this to basically take the extra power from your alternator and charge this while you're driving, which we think is really cool. It's a really handy tool to have. It was designed for bigger power stations, but it's cool that they made this one work with it. And the last thing that we like about this is that it's just not trying to be anything that it is not. I wouldn't go ahead and say this is like the best power station for beginners, strictly due to the fact that it only has a 500 watt inverter. So if you just grab this thing and give it to your grandma, she's going to be popping this inverter all the time. It's going to be tripping because she's running bigger loads than it can handle. She's going to be calling you. Point being, it isn't trying to be anything it's not. A lot of times companies release new power stations with a bunch of pointless features. This is for a specific small group of people that just want the simplicity of it, and we like that. This unit though is not perfect, and probably the biggest thing that we don't like with this power station is just the lack of USBs and power of the USBs, I guess. I understand only putting one plug on the front. You're trying to make it simple and clean. That's fine. Even having just one USB-A and one USB-C, I understand the thought process, but it's like pretty standard now to give at least a 90 watt USB-C or 140 watt USB-C. That just means if you're gonna go ahead and plug your laptop in, I know my laptop runs like 70 watts when it's charging. This is only 18. So if I'm running my laptop off this unit, chances are it's barely even gonna maintain battery. If I'm typing away and doing work, my laptop's actually still gonna die, just slower. So we really wish that EcoFlow only giving us 2 USB options at least made them the most powerful they could be. There's tons of battery capacity in here. It's not like it would have hurt it. It just is kind of a buzzkill that there's such limiting USBs on this. The other thing that we really didn't like is that it's loud, like for a small power station like this. It's designed mainly to be used as a UPS device. So you have like your computer plugged into this because you live somewhere where the grid isn't stable. You're working, power goes out, your computer stays on, you keep working. It doesn't, ruin your life. But it's loud. You can hear it the whole time if you're using it in UPS mode, like if it's charging and outputting power. EcoFlow has other products in their lineup like the Delta Pro Ultra where it doesn't even make a single noise running full tilt. So they have the ability to make this thing quieter. They just didn't, and that kind of sucks. It's also worth mentioning there's no 12 volt car socket or light on this power station, which is major buzzkill. 12 volts would be great. You could take this camping, plug your 12 volt fridge into it, or tons of camping accessories that run off a 12 volt car socket. You can't do that on this power station at all. And also, no light. Again, it's that power station. When the power goes out, if you're gonna carry this around, it would be nice if you could use it as the light, or if it lit up in front of you so you could see what you're doing. 2 things that we love to see on power stations that this one has neither of. At bare minimum, power stations like Pecron's F3000 has glow-in-the-dark buttons, so even though it doesn't have a light, you can find the buttons in the dark, which is useful. Come on, give us something. And the last thing that we didn't like came from our testing, which was the idle consumption. If you just turn this inverter on and you just leave it on, just sitting here idling, maybe you have something that turns on and off occasionally and you're trying to make sure you're always providing power for whatever that is. This unit uses 14 watts every hour, just idling, which is really high considering it's only a small inverter. You have things like the Blue Eddy Elite 100, 200, those are like 8 watts of idle consumption, and they're full units with tons of plugs and ports and features. There's a very little inverter. The idle consumption is extremely high. It would die pretty quickly considering you only have access to one plug. We think this power station is for you if you are running a specific appliance and you're more focused on battery capacity than output. Like if you know this is just gonna run your fridge in a power outage and you're only gonna run your fridge in a power outage with this, and you don't wanna overspend for a bigger inverter paired with a bigger battery, yeah, this might be something that works for you. It's also great for someone who just wants the UPS feature in like a small home office. If you're trying to run your computer or whatever Wi-Fi router off of this thing, and then when the grid goes down, you don't lose where you're at with your work. As long as you can deal with hearing it because it's not dead silent, then it is a very good power station for you. If you still don't know exactly which power station is best for you, we have a quiz you guys can take. It takes 30 seconds. It spits you out an instant recommendation that we actually recommend based on your needs. So go ahead down in the description below and take that quiz. Otherwise, that is all we got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you next time. Peace out and stay charged.